Good evening. Welcome to the B-Movie Den. I'm
Wade.
Gary.
I'm Wade.
Are you Wade?
Yes.
It's nice to meet you.
How you doing? Yeah, we're back. It's July. It's super hot, so I'm sweating right here.
This is episode 7.
Yes. And we did something different. We still pick out of a hat. Gary picked out of a hat.
He had no idea what he was walking into.
Yeah.
He came over and it was paused, ready to go for him.
Yeah.
No idea until the credits rolled.
Yeah. So that's pretty much what we did, and I did not know what I was walking into. And we walked into H.G. Wells' 1970 something classic of Food of the Gods or For the Gods?
Food of the Gods.
Food for the Gods.
Food of the Gods.
Food of the Gods.
FOTG. FOTG.
That's the review, everyone. See you later.
Stop it.
Actually, you know what, Gary? How about you? Because you've seen this movie multiple times. How about you talk about it for a minute? What did you think of Food of the Gods?
Well, I've grown up with this movie, so I've actually seen this a bunch. Actually, it's like, as a kid, I really, really liked this movie, but I also really like big monster movies. So I like movies like Them, Deadly Mantis, Killer Shrews, stuff like that. We couldn't get into, what was it, Attack of the Giant Leeches, because it was just so...
Oh yeah, that was one of the early ones we tried doing, and we have a rule, like, we give it 10 minutes, and if we can't do it in 10 minutes, I think we did, what was it, Death Farm Massacre?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that instead, which was an infinitely better idea.
But the big problem we had with it, or like, on this little side thing real quick, big problem we had with Attack of the Giant Leeches, the copy that we had, and we couldn't find a better quality copy. The audio was so horrendous, we could not follow anything after 15 minutes, which is why we turned it off, because the movie's only an hour long.
It's okay to do the side stories. I have nothing to talk about this movie.
But anyways, so back to H.G. Wells' Food of the Gods. So it's based off of a novel he wrote, I think, in like 49 or 50, something like that. It was way back then. And this basically follows the first 40 pages of the book, if you've read it. So it's about food that comes out of the earth and makes anything it eats, the youngins grow to enormous sizes. And they all seem to have a flesh for anything that moves.
Yeah.
He, however, apparently was like, oh God.
I've never seen this movie before till tonight. It may be...
He's like, I don't like these people.
It may be the worst movie we've done on B-Movie Den.
For you.
In my opinion. It was so boring.
I felt that I'm pretty sure that Death Farm Massacre was mine. Other than, the main chick. I thought she was pretty hot, and that was about it.
Was so boring. And then you told me a little thing about how the actual rats were harmed in this, and I'm like, they were harmed for this movie.
Oh yeah.
I am a proponent of against animal cruelty.
So am I. And
on the film, because it's not necessary. Like, that's why I hate Cannibal Holocaust so much, because one, the movie's not that good. Y'all praise it. It's not that good. I get it. Oh, the Americans are the monsters. I get that. And also they kill animals for no apparent reason. The rats in here didn't have to shoot them with pellet guns. They didn't have to. Like, they could like a bang, have a sound effect in the background, don't even show them. Boom, you did it. You don't even need to do any of that stuff.
And people say they're like, oh, they threw...
It's cheaper.
They say they threw a ground beef at them or whatnot. You see, like, their eyes getting, like, blown off. It's like, that's not a special effect. That's actually this happening.
So we follow the character of Morgan, who's a college football player, but he's actually 45 years old. What was his name? What was his name again?
Oh, I don't remember his name.
Blah, whatever his name was.
Yeah.
So he was old, and he was...
The hero. The hero will save us.
And then they're looking for Mr. Skinner, the Skinner family or whatever, and then you're introduced to Jack Bensington, what I guess his name was.
Jack Bensington.
And
his associate, who's a bacteriologist.
Norma?
It wasn't Norma.
Lorna? Lorna Scott. Lorna Scott, and then you had a guy and pregnant wife. Not wife, girlfriend.
Yes.
They made a big point it was not his wife.
It was,
for some reason...
Her name was Rita. I can't remember what his name was already.
So for some reason, Rita... we have to explain that they're not husband and wife, which is a weird thing to introduce for some C-plot characters. And then we have, Morgan and Well, we don't. Well, his first friend died. Spoiler: he died in the first 5 minutes.
Oh yes, sorry if by episode 7 we don't tell you this. Our reviews have spoilers. In
Oh, and that whole like, oh, the wasps are giant. Oh wow, they were a big threat near the end.
Well,
they're totally dropped. Oh yeah, they destroyed the nest.
Yeah, and the books also spoiler if you haven't read it after 70 years. There's 3 or 4 wasp nests in that. I know.
And then the rats come and they're just like.
There's big worms. There's big. It's like you got surprised by the big cock.
Yeah, I was more surprised, but no one was like nonchalant about it.
like
Morgan sees these giant cocks attacking him, and he's not like, "Why are they giant?"
It's like, where the hell did you get those damn chickens, lady?
Yeah,
these bastards almost killed me.
Oh, and he also has that friend that's supposed to be in Chicago.
Yeah,
he's not gonna make Chicago. Spoiler.
I'm supposed to be in Chicago the day after tomorrow. Think I'll make it?
I mean,
yeah, sure.
People get eaten by rats.
But it's totally fine because the rats are
the rats are attacking miniature
everything,
cars, houses,
RVs.
It's just nothing. It's
will you admit though at least the action picked up after a while?
A little bit, but there's still like I have nothing to talk about in this movie. Absolutely nothing. There's nothing that really stood out. The script is awful.
Oh yeah, the script is
terrible. The acting is terrible. The rats were good actors.
They sold their deaths well.
Oh, and then you see a bunch of drowned ones too. That's real nice to see. And yeah, I mean, could have been shorter.
So what you're saying is you should have had a few drinks before you watched the movie.
I'm gonna drink right now. Oh, nice water. Mountain water. Not sponsored. Anyway.
Not yet sponsored.
I hope we're sponsored off that. But yeah, this is you talk about it, Gary. I have no thoughts on this movie.
Okay, ask me a couple questions about this movie.
What did you think about the movie?
It's a movie.
Is it okay? Did you hate it as much as I did?
No.
Okay.
Am
I being too harsh on the movie?
No, because this is also your personal opinion about the movie.
Yeah.
And everyone is entitled about their opinion. I've never been one of those people who
your opinion sucks. Anyway,
But I've also never been one of those people who okay, your opinion's wrong about things. That's what makes this kind of thing great, is that it's two people that can have different completely opinions about something.
So you love the movie?
I used to really love it as a kid. Growing up, it's especially with the animal cruelty in it. It's but also.
So when you were a kid, you loved animal cruelty.
Well, I also didn't know that. Also didn't know until I was a teenager. I first saw the movie when I was 5, and then loved it and watched it a bunch, and didn't know until I was about 15 about the little known facts that. Yeah, these rats were shot with pellet guns, and the ones that were drowning were just being held underwater by their tails until they drowned. And
all that's unnecessary.
Oh, yeah.
Every single thing about that, unnecessary. You could just had sound effects behind, gurgling.
Yeah.
While the
and then at one point you're
like,
I'm so glad we have CGI. Then I'm like, oh, here's your CGI. And you're like, oh, God, when's this movie going to be over?
The CGI water is so bad. H.G. Wells is turning over in his grave. But we did discover one thing out of this film. Jaws of Satan trailer. That was a trailer. It's in this. It's in this right here.
It's the version we watched. The Blu-ray. What was it? The Scream Factory release.
Yes, of Food of the Gods and Frogs. But there was a trailer for Food of the God. Not Food of the Gods. For Jaws of Satan or King Cobra.
Yeah, also known as King Cobra. Same thing.
There's a priest doing oh my God, it's exorcisms. Giant cobra. Infinitely cooler movie. Why is
the priest is played by the actor who plays Stanley in Creepshow? So
we need this movie. We need to buy it and we need to put it in the hat so we never have to watch this movie ever again. There's a sequel, by the way. It's not in the hat, and we're not going to watch it.
I also don't own it, and it's really bad. So it makes this.
It's worse than this.
Yes, it makes this movie look like an Oscar winner. Actually, it is an Oscar winner. No, I'm kidding.
Actually, no. No, I looked it up. let me pull out my information here. I looked up if it won any awards.
Oh, don't tell me it won awards.
Okay, so it was made by Bert I. Gordon. I means unintelligible. That
starts with a U.
I know. Box office was $1 million.
What was it made for?
I don't know. It won a Golden Turkey Award for Worst Rodent Movie of All Time.
What year?
I don't know.
I feel like...
But I said of all time. What other rodent movies came out? What other rodent movies are they? What other ones?
Oh, there's tons. You got Willard. You got Ben. You got Rats.
This movie sucked.
You got Gnaw.
That movie sucked. How many rats would you give this? How many?
No, you got to do giant mealworms.
Yeah. How many giant mealworms would you give this?
I think after the years have gone by, I give it 2.5 out of 5.
Oh, we're doing half. Half. The some of the rat performances were great. That's the half star. You know what? I'll give it a 1. I'll be fair.
You'll be fair.
I think I'm being a little too harsh, maybe. I'll give it a 1.
You like the
I rounded it up. It was about like 3/4 of a star. I rounded it up to 1.
You like the glow effect that they had on Lorna.
Yeah, that was weird. We should make love.
It's like, I want you to make love to me. It's like, we're gonna have this conversation
Make
later.
love to me, Randy.
Please.
That's all I was thinking.
Lord.
I was just thinking about that and just like, actually, I give it 1 star for the character of Jack. He is the only character that had a personality.
Asshole.
That's it. He was selfish. He was greedy. He had all kinds of things. He acted well. Like every other character was just like, I can't. Aside from describing what they look like, I have no idea what their personalities are. I have no idea what their character traits are. I have no clue.
I mean, well, you know,
Lorna is like a
bacteriologist of a plant.
She has literally done zero. Like, I know all about this. I do research. I have an idea on how to stop this. None of that. It's just like that's just her job.
A bacteriologist would have no idea on how to stop the spread of something like that.
I don't know, like, the fact that they introduced her as this type of, like, as this profession means, it's gonna tie in somewhere. Nope. Also, the whole fact that Morgan is a football player. You think, maybe he'll do, actually he did. He threw the
dynamite.
The dynamite. So the football does tie in.
But, it's like his daddy always said.
Also, yeah, what the fuck? It's like, Dad said that the world was going to do this, the environment was going to do this, and like
Mother Nature was going to rebel, and rebel she did.
And I just face palmed and I said, "Fuck this movie! I'm not watching this."
Fuck Morgan, fuck this guy, fuck everybody. Hot shot.
We're dragging out this review because I had nothing to talk about. Thank God we watched that damn trailer. But that's our
revitalized you.
But that's our thoughts on that's strong. That's very strong. I can smell it from here. That wraps up our review or
episode 7.
Not review. Our discussion of H.G. Wells' Food of the Gods. Let us know in the comment section below. Have you seen this movie? Am I being too harsh? Is this the greatest movie you've ever seen, or is it the worst movie you've ever seen? Probably not the worst ever. There's probably plenty of that. I can name a couple that are worse than this movie, but I think my biggest issue with the movie, it was just so boring. The thing is about, like, Farm Massacre, Death Farm Massacre, whatever it was called, is, yeah, sure, it wasn't the greatest movie, but the characters at least had something. They were stupid, or they were entertainingly bad, something. This one was just dry. The driest acting I've ever seen. They weren't necessarily bad actors. They just weren't charismatic enough to stand out to me. Except for the Jack character. He has some sort of charisma.
You want them to be charismatic? You ask too much.
There's nothing. Everything's just plain Jane on this whole movie. I'm sorry. B-movie dads were supposed to see ridiculous stuff.
This was ridiculous.
Whatever. It wasn't
ridiculously slow.
Yes.
You wanted ridiculous?
I was like, oh, we're at least 30 minutes in. Now look, 15 minutes, because you have a clock when we watched it. I was like, 15 minutes. That's our thoughts.
We could always go blaxploitation.
Down the road. That's in the hat. Blaxploitation is in the hat. And both of us are big fans of blaxploitation films. So hopefully we get into that. That's a good question. Is there any blaxploitation films or 70s films in general that has like that kind of still like grindhouse look or whatever? Let us know in the comment section below so we can add it to the hat.
If it's not already in the hat. So.
Yes. Share the video. Share the video to all your friends, all your family, all your movie cinephiles or whatever. So let us know, subscribe, share, just help us out. We want to do more of these. So, until next time, I am Wade.
I am Gary.
And we will close out the show because I forgot the ending. We will see you later.